Good evening, Facebook. How are you today? I am well. You know what I've been thinking? I've been thinking about two things. I've been thinking about Texas, well, maybe it's three things. I've been thinking about Texas and the fact that people who look like me did not have food, don't have food today, and they were cold. And some people in my age group froze to death. I've also been thinking about uh, the fact that it's in the Congress or the state legislature to to decriminalize psychopathic drugs. And I'm going to start with that one first. I'm not don't know if I how I feel about the fact that they want to decriminalize the drugs, but what got me, how many people of color use psychopathic drugs? You know, when I was young, Timothy O'Leary had a real great group of people, and they were basically white kids who were strung out. And I remember Art Linkletter's daughter jumped off of a building thinking that she could fly because she was on one of those drugs. So the new bill is to decriminalize it and to forgive and sponge the records of those who have spent time in prison or were jailed because of it. Now, you can correct me, and please write me a note and, speak in the chat so I can get corrected, and I stand to be corrected. But I don't remember the legislature decriminalizing and sponging the records. Maybe they did. Now, please understand, I'm not saying they didn't do it. What I am saying is that Tommy Whitlow does not remember the legislature expunging the records of those who had been jailed because they were either smoking marijuana or they had marijuana to sell, or they were just had marijuana on them. Now, I stand corrected if that happened. But I do believe, and it's really interesting, I was listening to KGO radio, and people 75, and that's about the time of O'Leary, when they were talking about psychedelic drugs as a big thing among whites. I just don't remember it being a big thing among African Americans, at least the street people. And I don't remember it being a big thing among the teenagers when I directed a teen center. They were using reds, then whatever the reds were. And then they were doing marijuana, and then heroin came in. And when heroin came in, it just destroyed everything. There were men, I didn't hear a ladies call in, and I'm not listening to it now because I'm talking to you. But there was a couple of men who says, I'm 75 and I use psychedelic drugs, and I think that they should be decriminalized. I'm a Republican, and he also said, I'm Republican, but I just believe that psychedelic drugs should be decriminalized. And another one called in and said, I believe he was 75 too, and psychedelic drugs should be decriminalized. And another man called in who was in the same age group and said that he uses heroin, psychedelic drugs, and he is a functional human being. And I say more power to him if he uses heroin on a regular basis and he's not a stone addict. And maybe he has enough money to keep the habit going without having to be on the streets and act like an addict, scratching for stuff. I've seen them. I've seen them looking for stuff, just any little thing. So anyway, that's that. So that's what I had to say about that. And the whole point I was making about the marijuana, many of the people who are in jail for having possession of or using the use of marijuana were people of African descent. And again, I did not hear, again, please be clear with me. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I didn't hear that the legislature had decriminalized it. I mean, it's okay to use it. You won't go to jail. You won't, you can use it in the privacy of your homes. And when it first happened, people were smoking all over the place. I went to Macy's and young people were out sitting on the bench smoking. I said, is that marijuana? They said, yeah, it's legal. And then they made it clear it is legal for you to consume, but you will not be walking on the streets smoking it. You can smoke it in the privacy of your own homes. And now people are smoking in the privacy of their own cars, because if somebody, the scent is very strong. If someone pulls up beside you for any length of time, you can smell it. So that's that. The other part that I wanted to say, I am thankful, I am very grateful to be alive and to be in Sacramento, California, where I feel safe. I did not have to worry about heat. I didn't have to worry about freezing to death. I did not have to worry about my pipes breaking or not having enough water. With that said, I trust, and I want someone to tell me, how do I contact I know all I have to do, I guess, is call McCartney, Kevin McCartney, who is my state representative, to find out where is California. Should we have our weather change? My house is all electric, so I couldn't get under my electric blanket and be warm. I have no way of being warm in my house, and none of the other people in this area, unless they have a generator. So I want to know where we are, and I hope you want to know where we are as well, and that we contact our state representatives to ask what's being done in California. Now, we could understand the people not having water, because when we've had the fires, people have not had water. About 2 years ago, Sacramento Valley section of the National Council of Negro Women raised money. We didn't raise money, we just gave money to get water to take up to the people in the fire, so that they could have water to drink and do whatever they needed, cook with it, do what they needed to do with it. You heard stories of people who had not bathed since the fire, they weren't fire, since all the coldness started. God, if you are accustomed to bathing every day, can you imagine not bathing in 2 or 3 days? It's hard for me to think about. And that's why I'm thankful. And that's why I would like for you to join me in contacting our state representatives to make sure that the electric grids are in place and we have enough power should something happen. And if something happens, that we can get back up within 24 hours, actually within 2 or 3 hours. And if that's not the case, then I need to contact my city councilman, Mr. Eric Guerrera, to see where the city is and what does the city have in place should something like this happen in Sacramento, California. So I am saying that I am thankful. I am grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be safe in my home. And with that being said, I think that the homeless may not feel as safe as I do. Faye Kennedy is having a meeting, a meet and greet of Poor People's Campaign tomorrow. And when I get out of church, I'm going to go there. I have some knitted scarves that they can have to help keep warm a little bit, that I want to give. So that is that. And again, as I close, I want to say that I am happy, and I see that someone has written me and tell me get a get to Home Depot and get a generator. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So you look at you guys read the chat box. We can go to Home Depot and get a generator. I will go. I thank you, thank you. I will go and check it out and see. Hopefully, I can afford one and see. And I will. And I want everybody to know. I I just want to be prepared. I don't want to be cold. I don't want to freeze to death. And let me remind you. You know this, but remember this. Even in desperate times, we do not sit in our cars, in our carports, and especially in our garages, and the windows are up, and run our cars to keep warm. We do not take little things that you have with coal and burn them in the house to keep warm. That's carbon monoxide. It will kill you. It's cold. You aren't going to open the windows or the doors to let the fumes out. We don't do that. We want to survive this. So please, 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 let's talk about it to each other so we know what to do. We know the pros and the cons of what we should do. Okay? And that's it. I basically wanted the world to know that I'm thankful to be in Sacramento, California. I'm thankful to have a place to live. I'm thankful to be safe. I'm thankful to be warm. To be warm. I spoke to my friend in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it was, what did she tell me, 18 degrees or 13 degrees? Oh my God. And I think that 50 is cold, but that's cold. And so let's be thankful together. Let's share information. Thank you so much. Is it Mina Tramiel? Thank you, thank you, thank you for putting that on there. And I just trust that many people will look at it and say it. And I trust that we will share it with all of our friends and acquaintances. It don't even have to be a friend. We just want people to be safe. All righty. Thank you for listening. And tomorrow is Sunday, and some of the churches are opening up. My church, Calvary, it's not my church. I attend Calvary Christian Center. It is open, and we will be having church. I usually go to the 7:30 service, but they aren't having a 7:30 service. So I will be at the 9 o'clock service tomorrow morning. So may the peace of God be with all of you. May you be a blessing and cause no pain. And may you also be grateful and thankful for the life that you have. We may not have everything we want, but we have a good life. And when you look around you at other people, you know we have a good life. Be safe, wear your mask, do distance, get enough water and sleep, eat properly. And I look forward to seeing you when we do this again. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Thank you. I will be safe.